E o adulto tá sofrendo. Dando bem. Dando. De pés. I don't know to see a few another happened to them. But I'm going to red versus red. Oh man. I don't know if they can dethrone these guys, but let's see if they can. Jag säger jag som dagar så. Ja. To the best of the day, presented by Target. It is a huge Thursday. Einen. Everything about these are identical. The packaging is literally the same. Oh wait, this just in. They're claiming that they're the original pop-up pastry made in 1964. Toastum pop-ups.
It's me. Prepare to get infected. Yeah, let me stuff that into a You like it when I do that, smart. You are all mine now, isn't that right, guys? Yay!
Where my dumbass son? I fell down. Help me, son. What is...
Ha ha ha, Dad, it's me.
Exactly. You're both good enough.
Welcome to the internet. Have a look around. Anything that brain of yours can think of can be found. We've got mountains of content, some better, some worse. If none of it's of interest to you, you'd be the first.
Jesus, but I do have full buster, right? Damn it. I looked at it. It said that out. 5 robots. That's not that deep. Even what? Man. Too process. Whatever.
was flying 08. Thought I could touch the sky like was so great.
So, it all started with this video right here, where we see the boss awaiting his trial. When his lawyer, Bambeo, walks in, and they discuss delaying the court case. And the way that they delay the court case is really incredible. Peak Short Wars moments right here, seriously. Like, what? Before we get into the court case, Law by Mike posted this short right here, where we actually saw a glitch effect. So maybe Law by Mike will be in the court case? And one more thing before I get into the court case. Dun Dun uploaded this unlisted video right here, where we actually see his clone Dun Bun in the void. But we also see this Riggy image. And this is a reference to Bun Dun getting a Riggy face tattoo. So I guess this means that Dun Bun is actually trapped inside of Bun Dun. I always thought that Dun Bun was trapped inside the computer, that this void thing was inside like the computer area. There's a lot of evidence that Bun Dun and Dun Bun were inside the computer. I mean, Royal Pierre was trapped in the computer and shot Bun Dun, and I'm pretty sure that's what woke him up. I genuinely think that they were trapped in the computer and the mind at the exact same time. I'm so confused by this part. Same with Joe Kane. PewDiePie was telling him to wake up and a bunch of other comments, and then Joe Kane woke up. But Joe Kane was also in the computer in the video game Wizard when Royal Pierre told him to wake up, and then he disappeared, which I'm pretty sure implied that Joe Kane then woke up. So it's like he's trapped in both as well. I don't really know. Let's just jump right into the court case. Alright, it is the giant stream that everyone has been waiting for. So, Bambeo is the lawyer for the boss, Joe Kane and Law by Mike are against the boss, and Wendy is the judge. We can also see that the Theorist trio, Dacia, Mello, and Red Jet, are in the top right, acting as the jury. And I guess the jury is also Chad. There is someone else there, but they're never really included, so I don't really know. Same with the people on the left, they were really included. Anyways, Royal Proto starts the event. And this is actually where Chad gets to come into play, because they can actually vote who goes up next. And so they choose Dano. Dano goes to the stand, and he doesn't really hate the boss. In fact, most of the stuff he blames on Clone Riggy, and overall Dano is just hating on Clone Riggy. Next is C-Dot, and basically he talks about how he joined the boss to see the inner workings of YouTube, I guess. And he said that when he was employed by the boss, that the working experience was mostly fair. However, after a statement from Clone VPN, he started working against the boss, and then went into investigating Dr. Francis Dave. And from what he's gathered, he found out that Francis Dave created the original cloning machine, taught the boss about it, and has since died from old age. He also talked about his quest to go get the Truth Singer sword, and that there are multiple people trying to take him out, and all that stuff. Next, Riggy was called to the stage, and he literally says that he feels mid about the whole thing. He wasn't really helpful, so they quickly took him out. Next, we got to see Royal Pierre and Royal Melon. And when Joe Kane asked if the boss made Mello blow himself up, they responded yes. And then Joe Kane asked another question if the boss stole their content and reacted to it without giving really any value. And they also said yeah. And Joe Kane asked if the boss sent them to another world to be trapped forever, which was also confirmed by them. But Royal Pierre was genuinely chill about the whole situation and not really taking it seriously. But the evidence did seem to be racking up against the boss. Next to the stand was Mogswamp, and he talked about his Minecraft world getting destroyed and getting doxxed in the world, and also the boss doxing him in real life. But Bam challenged Mogswamp, saying that he didn't really have evidence that the boss himself doxed him, and Mogswamp didn't actually have any proof. So the boss got away with that one. Next was Bun Dun, and Bun Dun and Dun Bun could actually switch. So Bun Dun switches to Dun Bun, and then he starts yapping about stuff, and he never really directly talked to the boss. That was kind of the whole situation. When switching back to Bun Dun really didn't have much to say, because he was kind of in the void for the most of season 2. Then the court case kind of goes on break for a little bit, and this is when the Theorist trio starts talking. They start arguing over whether the boss is guilty or not. They mostly talk about how he's guilty, but they also talked about how Preston, aka Clone Riggy, kinda has a lot to blame. And they even questioned if they should be going after the boss in the first place and should be going after Preston instead. They also talked about Francis Dave and questioned if he was actually dead. Anyways, next Royal Proto showed some evidence, which was the facility playback video and the Where Did Dano and Royal Pierre Go video. Next, we hear Bam and the boss talking to each other, saying that they now plan to blame everything onto Preston. So yeah, a lot of people do not like Preston right now. Anyways, Royal Proto shows some more evidence, which shows Preston and Bambeo going to the old facility, looking around for some love. This was part of season 2, which isn't really something I covered, but yeah, it does exist, and I gotta say the quality of this video is really good. Anyways, the break is over, and Preston himself, aka Clone Riggy, is being brought up to the stand, and he immediately blames everything on the boss, even claiming that the boss wrote him a note saying that he did everything, which is obviously fake. And yeah, everyone just says that he is useless, so they take him off the stand. And next is the boss himself, and he immediately claims to be innocent until he's taken off the stage. Joe Kane was next, and he talked about the boss being bad, and then we get Bambeo, who is of course on the boss's side, being the boss's lawyer, and he talks about how the boss is great and treats him well, and that the boss cares about his employees. And this is when Wendy, the judge, is just going insane, saying that nothing of value is brought, and is just kind of losing her mind. And then, finally, Johnny Razor shows up to the court case. He finally made it. He was late. However, he has a lot of important info. You see, he's gathered all of the logs of Dr. Francis Dave, and he believes that the boss is innocent, and that the boss's actions were because of the crimes of his predecessor, which would be Francis Dave, and that the boss was just acting on instinct, saying that he was a weapon, that someone else was pulling the trigger. He also went on to mention that the boss is technically legally dead, as he doesn't have an ID. And interestingly, Johnny Razor questions if Francis Dave is dead, as Johnny pulls out the logs to talk about them, using the logs as evidence to back up his case. Then Royal Proto shows some more evidence, showing some of the logs from Francis Dave. One where Francis Dave is talking about experimenting, and that 2 souls in one body starts to make the body crack. Francis Dave goes on to talk about how he is like cloning himself, I guess trying to reach immortality. And then the last log says that if the cloning machine is used again, that he will be back. That's interesting. And then Bambeo says Francis Dave is in the very room, and says that it's Preston. Talking about log 15 that says when the machine is used again, he will be back. And then if 2 souls are in the body, it begins to crack. And that's what's happening to clone Riggy, aka Preston. And Preston is getting worried and then teleports out of there. But anyways, the court case is coming to an end. It is now time for Chad to decide if the boss is guilty or innocent. And after 2 minutes of the chat voting, it was a close call. The Theorist Trio then reads the votes, and chat says that the boss is not guilty. He's done it. The boss is finally free. He can now go and do whatever he wants. However, we're not done yet, because the camera now cuts to Preston. He reaches for his antidote, the antidote that he's been getting from Riggy's fur, but he is all out. And so he begins to fully crack. And this is when Francis Dave takes over. He takes out a knife and then starts aiming towards Johnny Razor, but the boss pushes him out of the way and gets stabbed. And unfortunately, the boss does not make it. And now we get into the final fight. Johnny Razor takes the knife and throws it at Francis Dave, hitting him right in the forehead, completely cracking him. It is war. As we see, Francis Dave completely transformed into Preston Prime.
What the fuck is that? It's terrifying.
aka Francis Dave, and he is ready to kill. And then Joe Kane literally gives everyone like anime power or something to equal out the fight, I guess. It's all come down to this final fight. And so it begins, with all the creators of Short Wars going after Preston Prime. See that quickly using his sword, Bambeo has a gun, Dano throws Riggy at him and messes him up, Royal Pier attacks him, Mog Swamp shoots at him, Joe Kane and Bundan start hitting him, but nothing is working, and Johnny Razor is now on the ground. But Bambeo, after seeing some cheese balls, comes up with a plan. He gathers everyone together. Royal Pair uses this power right here, which completely freezes Preston Prime. Then Mog Swamp and Joe Kane launch an anvil into the air. Bundan then uses Dun Bun, which punches it at Preston Prime. Dano and Donnie then hold him down. Bambeo shoots a cheese puff into his mouth, and Riggy teleports Sita into the air, giving Sita the final attack on Preston Prime, finally ending him once and for all. And so it is over. That is how the Shorts Wars ends. The chat.
Hey everyone, I'm Bradley Haselmeyer, and on today's episode...
Danny feed you, Danny for you, you'll be missed.
So if it sucks, this whole video is going to be in shambles. It's number 8 on the travel chart. Is boondocking supposed to be for your car? I didn't realize this was like a thing. I thought
What's the eyes of it?
in undeveloped primitive campsites. Kitty, why is the logo a tent if it's meant for RV camping? How am I supposed to know that? Gosh, I'm not meant to be a New Hampshireite. Maybe I'll get lucky. Maybe there's like one spot where like it's a nice normal campground that you pay for, and it's not in the middle of nowhere, New Hampshire. There's like 2 locations. We can stay in a Walmart, or we can go all the way up to the White Mountain National Forest. Oh, I know I'm not about to do this. I know I'm not about to camp in the White
Gatorade.
How dare you?